I want to ask you something quickly. Have you ever noticed something strange after starting your GLP-1? Maybe you haven't noticed it, but it's not just that you're eating less. You're actually thinking a lot less about food. You're no longer planning your next meal while you're eating your current one. Trust me, I do it. You're walking past the pantry without stopping for a snack. You're able to leave your food alone on your plate once you're done. And for a lot of people, it's almost emotional, believe it or not. Because for the first time in years, your brain, well, it feels quiet. If that's something you experienced, well, trust me, you're not imagining it. There's actually a name for it: food noise. Welcome back to After the Shot, where random weight loss ends and the real transformation begins. Before we dive into this video's topic, it's time for today's truth shot. Myth: GLP-1s can completely fix your relationship with food. Truth: GLP-1 medications can reduce your appetite and, for many people, quiet a lot of that food-related thoughts. But it doesn't automatically change your habits, your emotions, or the environments that shaped your food behaviors in the first place. And that's exactly why today's topic matters so much. Let's talk about food noise. See, it's not just your appetite, it's what happens in your brain. So let's start with what food noise actually is. Food noise is not a medical diagnosis, so don't worry about that. It's just a term that people use to simply describe the constant thought about food. Like thinking about your next meal, wondering what's in the fridge, planning the dessert before you've even finished dinner. Huh, sounds like I suffer from this as well. For some people, that internal dialogue happens all day long, conscious and subconsciously. And here's something that's very important: experiencing food noise does not mean you're weak. It does not mean you lack willpower. And it certainly doesn't mean you're addicted to food. It's simply just a biological, psychological, and environmental reason as to why food can occupy your mental capacity so much. These are simply just biological, psychological, environmental, and even emotional triggers as to why food can occupy your mental capacity so much. One of the things that GLP medications appear to do really well is reduce both appetite and food related thoughts for many people. And that's why so many people say once taking the shot that they finally feel normal. It's not just that they're eating less, but they're thinking less about food. And that's a huge difference on its own. Now, here's where I want to introduce something that I call the 3 layers of food noise. Now, here's where I want to introduce something new called the 3 layers of food noise. The first layer is physical. This is where you're genuinely hungry, your body wants energy, and it's completely normal. It's the physical hunger that you feel. The second layer is habit. This is where you always go to grab some popcorn when you watch Netflix, or you always stop for coffee at Starbucks and a muffin on your way to work. This cue triggers the behavior even when you're not physically hungry. It's more of a mental thing. And the third layer, well, emotional food noise. Stress, boredom, loneliness, celebration, anxiety, you name it. All these emotions often become associated with eating over many years. So the medication itself can help to reduce a lot of this biological drive, but it doesn't automatically rewrite the habits or the emotional associations that you created yourself. And that's why some people are very surprised when stressful events make them not want to eat, even when their appetite is lower. This is where their biology has changed. But the learned behavior there may still be the same. Let me explain. This is simply one of the biggest opportunities that you are either taking advantage of or missing. Your food volume, your food noise has been turned down. And this gives you a chance to notice the patterns that were there more clearly than ever and break them. Ask yourself, when do I still want to eat even when I'm not hungry? What situations trigger me the most? Which habits feel automatic? Because those things I just mentioned are the things that we want to make work while the medication is making life easier, not after it becomes harder. And this is why I tell all my clients, don't use the medication to simply lose weight. Use it as an opportunity to build a new relationship with food. Practice leaving food on your plate if you're comfortably full. Practice eating slower. Practice recognizing hunger as the truth versus a mental habit. Practice saying, I could eat this, but I don't actually need it. Those are 5 skills, 5 easy skills that stay with you today and long after the drug. So here's something I want you to remember. GLP-1 medications create an incredible opportunity. I cannot stress that enough. But they don't automatically create lasting change. That's the difference. The medication can lower your volume, your food noise, yes, but you still have to write the script. And this is where habits are formed. This is where confidence grows. And that's where long term success after the drug is actually built, because one day your dosage is going to change. Hell, your medication may even stop. And that's what I want. That's what I want for you. Life actually might become stressful after the drug. What we don't know is what the future holds for us. But what we do know now is that the drug is giving you this opportunity to quiet your food noise and build stronger habits so we don't use food as a stress outlet. That's the difference between temporary weight loss and a long lasting solution or long lasting transformation. So if you've noticed that the food noise have become significantly quieter, don't just celebrate it. Use it and notice the choices that you're making today and how it can help you build habits for the future so that you can continue to have great success. Because ultimately, this is the biggest opportunity that you've had to reshape your relationship with food. I know you've been wanting to do it and I know you've been waiting. So, what are you waiting for now? Take advantage of the window and the opportunity that you're creating, that the drug is creating for you right now. The last thing that I want to add here before I wrap up this episode is how GLP-1s can also directly and indirectly affect your addictive tendencies in a positive way. It can positively influence the outcome. See, GLP-1s already benefit you when it comes to food noise and suppressing that food noise. However, because food noise and addictive tendencies are pretty much hand in hand, you have that tendency to want to go to food in an environment where you feel food is your outlet, or in a situation where you need food to cope and rely on it. This becomes your addictive tendency. Your tendency is to go to food because you're addicted to it, because that's the habit that you built. So not only do GLP-1s reduce that food noise, but they also reduce addictive tendencies outside of food. This could be your smoking tendencies. This could be your bad habits that been trying to break forever. This could be your drinking problems. This could be any addictive tendency that you may be suffering from right now. GLP-1s could be the answer to that. Not to completely suppress them, but to help you take advantage, like I said, of that window to help suppress and minimize that tendency. In the next episode of After the Shot, what we're going to be tackling is another topic that creates a lot of confusion and piggybacks off what I just said. Can you drink alcohol while on a GLP-1? We'll talk about how alcohol can affect your appetite, your recovery, muscle preservation, and whether you really need to give it up completely or not. See you in the next episode.